Hi everybody, my name is Anu Data and I'm going to be your Mistress of Ceremonies today for our program, Celebrating African Americans in Diplomacy and the Arts, CBC Week, Kickoff Jazz Brunch. Are y'all ready? Nothing like the sound of revolution and the breakfast of champions to get us ready for this week. Is anyone still recovering from the gala last night? Most of us are. Coffee is available for anyone that needs it. Let's kick it off and get going. And I am now going to invite Joyce Williams and Juliet Mays to the podium to bless the food.
Give it up for my grandmother's call.
Yes.
Thank you. Good morning, good morning. Nice to see everybody. I do not come without my notes. I'm not going to be long, I promise. Good morning, family and friends of BPIA. Y'all look beautiful. Did y'all have a good time last night? Oh, wasn't that marvelous? Joyce and I are going to do a very short prayer, but we're so excited to be a part of this 35th anniversary of BPIA, right? We're excited to be here. Congratulations, BPIA, for all of your amazing accomplishments. Please bow your heads for prayer. Dear Lord, we ask that you bless this food that we're about to receive for the nourishments of our bodies. And Lord, we pray that you will continue to guide our families along your path. Amen, amen. We're done.
This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. We are so pleased, dear God, that you brought us here together as one, and we'll celebrate and honor you as one as we dine. Bless us as we have this meal, and bless each and every one of us here. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Thank you.
We are going to go ahead and get started with our program. I would like to now invite BPA President Alexandria Maloney and BPA Advisory Council Chairman Charles Carruthers for welcome remarks.
Awesome. Can we give it up for our fantastic moderator? Thank you so much. What a beautiful sight. If you all could see what I see right now, can we just take a moment and look around and just take a deep breath in and inhale peace and exhale joy for a minute. This just fills my heart to see everyone, to see our awardees here today. My name is Alexandra Maloney. I'm the president of the International Association of Black Professionals in International Affairs. Thank you so much for joining us for our 35th anniversary this year. I want to greet all of our special guests. I'd also like to ask for the ambassadors who are here. Thank you for joining. If you'd like to stand to be recognized or give a wave just so we can recognize and acknowledge you here. I see a few familiar faces. Thank you so much, ambassadors who are here with us today. As the theme is celebrating African American and African excellence in diplomacy and the arts. I'd also like to do a special thank you to all of our sponsors, especially our title sponsor, HP, this year for making this possible, for the partnership and commitment. Thank you so much. And with that, I will pass to our chairman of our advisory council, Mr. Charles Carruthers.
Thank you, Alex. I'll be really brief. I just want to really speak from the heart. Welcome, everyone. We had an entire week of celebration, and oftentimes people ask us, why do we celebrate so often? Why do we celebrate so boldly? Well, because for most of our history in the United States, we weren't allowed to celebrate. We were not allowed to acknowledge our achievements. We were not allowed to uplift each other publicly, but we're here to do this today. So I want to say thank you again to all of you for joining, all of our sponsors, all of our guests. Take this moment in to realize that we are on the global stage. We have a voice. We will no longer be voiceless, and we have an impact to make on our society. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charles. Thank you. I will now bring up one of our special partners for today's event, Forbes Black, Aisha and Jabbar. If you can join me in welcoming them for a special announcement.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's first begin by giving a big round of applause to Alexandria, Ethel, and Watsika for coordinating this incredible week. I am honored to be here today representing Forbes BLK, both as a Corporate Council advisory member as well as a community partner for this Jazz Brunch, which is kicking off CBC this week. Forbes BLK Senior Editor Jabari Young and I are here on behalf of a global community of entrepreneurs, change makers, and industry leaders who are working to transform business and society on an international scale, many of whom are already in this room. In alignment with BPIA's mission to enhance awareness and global engagement in international affairs, Forbes BLK's editorial platform, led by Jabari, is really helping us reclaim the narrative of storytelling through a Black lens, which is something that is so important in today's news cycle. As a result, I am excited to offer everyone in this room today the opportunity to join the Forbes BLK community and gain unlimited access to Forbes networks, events, and editorial content. I want to make sure that this is an opportunity for us to continue to have a conversation on what it means to collaborate, to come together, and to drive systemic change. And I hope there's more opportunities to work with each of you. And just remember, the progress that we aim for and the future that we envision and the collective efforts that we want to have envisioned starts with us. So thank you and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the partnership with the Kennedy Center to bring us a wonderful celebration today. I'm now going to invite BPIA Advisory Council member and Forbes Black Community Manager, Aisha Mendez, and Editor-in-Chief Jabari Young. Thank you so much for all of your comments, and thank you for everything you guys have done to put this event together today. Let's give it up for them one more time, everybody. All right, next up, we have a very special reading.
Sorry. Thank you so much. We also want to give the opportunity for the primary people, the absolute individuals who should be here speaking, is our wonderful advisory council leadership, as well as the director of strategic partnerships who, with the Kennedy Center, who helped to make today possible. So if you can please join me in welcoming the dynamic Brandolyn Anderson to speak to the mic. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Alex. Good morning, everyone. We are so thrilled to have you here at the Kennedy Center. I personally am so happy to see so many beautiful faces here. When I first started the Kennedy Center about 2.5 years ago, I recognized that there was a lack of information for us about what was available here. So welcome. We hope that you take advantage of our spaces. If you ever have any interest in coming back, please contact me. I'm the queen of tickets. They call me the plug. But really want to welcome you here. We welcome you to this space. We welcome you to the Kennedy Center. This is our space, our building, and so we want you to just come in and have this feel like family. I also want to introduce briefly my colleague, Ellen Palmer, who's the Vice President of Corporate Relations, who's going to give a few words. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I just wanted to say a quick welcome and thank you to Brandolyn and to the whole team. At the Kennedy Center, we are absolutely thrilled to have you be a part of our family today and to come into our space. I was struck when I was researching BPIA a little bit by the alignment of our missions and how similar our goals are and what we're trying to achieve, from developing leaders and amplifying voices to connecting and building and expanding communities. The Kennedy leadership really views or deeply invests in the curation of culture. And we believe that that's how we're going to broaden our vision as we move forward. So we're so grateful to have you here today, and as you continue to do your amazing work, we will continue to work alongside you as well. So thank you for coming into our home today, and thank you for being here. We're thrilled to have you. Thanks.
Thank you so much for having us. All right, I am now going to invite BPIA Madam Ambassador Delegate Priya Rubio for a poetry reading.
First off, I just wanted to say hello, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. We're so grateful to have you all. In halls where flags of nations fly, a vision sparked, ambitions high, Madam Ambassadors rise and lead, with wisdom, strength, and noble creed. From very lands, their voices blend, in unity their messages send. Bridging cultures and mending rifts, their leadership a world uplifts. BPIA is proud, a beacon bright, in global spheres they clasp their light. International stages they grace, bringing honor to their space. So let us celebrate this time, their courage, eloquence, and climb. Madam Ambassadors, ever bold, a legacy of strength untold. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, thank you, Priya. Let's give her a round of applause, everybody. Next up, I'd like to invite President Maloney back to the stage to hand out the awards for the founding members' dedication and proclamation presentation.
Thank you so much, Anu. So we are, again, so thankful to our founder of BPIA, Barbara C. Patterson, for her vision 35 years ago. And so I wanted to do a moment to take a dedication to her. As you'll see here to my right, we have both a citation from the governor of Maryland, Governor Wes Moore, as well as a proclamation from the DC Mayor Muriel Bowser that is here to the right. And so I invite you all to read those and read those while you're here in today's program. I'd like to raise a toast to BPIA in the spirit of legacy of this organization and building and growth and the empowerment of this community. So with that, cheers to BPIA and everyone involved. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Awesome. I will now invite our moderator, our mistress of ceremony, back to do the introduction of our keynote speaker.
Thank you so much, President Maloney. We will now proceed to our keynote speaker, Congresswoman Sheila Sherfelis McCormick. Representative McCormick is the first Black woman to represent Florida's 20th Congressional District and was re-elected House of Representatives in January 2023 to serve a second term. That by itself deserves applause, everybody. Congresswoman McCormick is honored to serve on the House Committee for Foreign Affairs and the House Committee for Veteran Affairs, and a ranking member of the Subcommittee on Technology Modernization. And as a veteran, thank you so much for all the work that you have done to help us. Thank you. She is also the chair of the Diversity and Inclusion Task Force for the Democratic Women's Caucus, a co-chair of the Haiti Caucus, and serves as a member of the Congressional Black Caucus. Congresswoman McCormick is also this year's recipient of BPIA's Congressional Global Leadership Award. Please join me in welcoming Congresswoman McCormick.
Good Good morning. Now, I know you guys can do better than that. Good morning. Well, I'm so excited to be here because it's not every day I get to come here and sit down and have mimosas for breakfast. Usually they don't feed me when I have to come to these things. But thank you so much because the food was awesome. I'm Congresswoman Sheila Sherfilis McCormick. I represent Florida's 20th District, which encompasses Broward and also Palm Beach County. Why are we here today? We would not be here if it wasn't for the ancestors who went before us. 35 years ago when this started, there was very few of us who were actually present and showing up. The importance of us being present and showing up and creating a legacy is how we all can sit here today and speak freely about what our vision is for the international space. To speak freely and honestly about where we are today and what we need to do to go forward when we talk about diplomacy. And so I'm honored to be here celebrating 35 years of this organization, making strides and making sure that we can show up and speak truth to power and ensure that our voices and perspectives are actually being heard in every agency. So I want to give a round of applause for the organization. And so today, when we come and we look at this environment we're in, we see that there's a lot of unprecedented things going on, a lot of unprecedented movements, a lot of unprecedented, I say, miracles going on, but a lot of unprecedented hurt and fighting. In my beautiful state of Florida, we have a little governor there who's trying to remove diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is everything that we're fighting for because we understand the value of having us at the table. And I always talk about to people that I wasn't really even supposed to be in Congress. My parents came from Haiti, moved to New York, we were living in Brooklyn, then we moved to Queens, and they told me just make sure you work hard to become a lawyer because we can never go back to that place of poverty or fleeing your country. And so I worked very hard and I never thought I would be in politics because that was for them. That was for other people who had families or who were rich and, you know, they had the connections. It wasn't necessarily for me. But it wasn't until I was actually exposed and I went to Howard University and, you know, and we had a resident diplomat, for those who know, you know. We had a resident diplomat and he actually talked to me about the need to have me at the forefront. And then that's when I started taking this a little more seriously. Because the story that I have of being an immigrant, when you leave your country, not because you want to, but because you have to. When you have to flee without pictures of your family, your grandparents, of even your baby pictures or your family's baby pictures. When you have to start over and your family doesn't speak English, and now you are the resident translator at 10 years old, translating all kinds of documents for your family member. There's something different there. So when I'm in Congress and I hear people talking about immigrants being aliens, not providing anything and coming in with fentanyl, I realized that I must show up in the room to show them really what immigrants look like and what the children of immigrants look like. I understand that I need to make sure that I speak to them in a way so they're no longer thinking that vision that we can't speak English or we're not eloquent. But I understand we have to open the door for the next generation, my counterparts, other women, also other men. Because as we go forward, I see more and more women being elevated. And I always remind women, we must elevate our husbands, our sons, and our fathers also. Their perspectives in this place is necessary. What we see and what we've experienced is very different. And the truth is, our narrative has never been told. Our narrative as Black people has never been told from our perspective. However, our culture has always been stolen. However, our societies, our workforce, our land has always been stolen. So what do we do in this moment of unprecedentedness? What do we do here in this destiny moment? Because it is. Now, I don't know if you've all recognized that this is a destiny moment for every one of us, not just in politics or in policy. Because in politics, I can only legislate policies, but I can't legislate humanity. I cannot legislate loving and seeing someone as your equal. I cannot legislate dignity that you should provide to all men. But what you do as actors, as performers, as artists, what you do is actually the harder work, which is to soften the soul, to normalize who we are as international people and everyone over in the world. What you do every day is make everyone look and say, I know that person, I know your work. And they see you as a human being, thus seeing us as human beings. And so I thank every single one of you who are here today and everyone who supports us. And I say us because in that international space, when we show up, we do need support. Because traditionally, we were not in those spaces. And I could tell you, before I came to Congress, I was CEO of a healthcare company, and the biggest thing that I encountered is it was foreign to them. Having a black woman leading, and my leadership style was foreign, especially a Caribbean woman, who might be a little bossy, rough around the edges sometimes. I'm from New York, so you're gonna get it. But we got it done. And we get it done every single day. And one of the first trips I did to Africa was with the vice president. And she called me, and we had 7 hours. And we were about to go to Ghana. We had to go to Tanzania. We had a list of things. And I said, Madam Vice President, I have to go vote on a bill, and it's my bill, so I can only do 2 stops. And what we talked about, her background understanding, not just the Caribbean, but even in India, and understanding the opportunities that are there, understanding what we face and making sure that we're investing in Africa, the Caribbean, and even in Asia. Talking about how do we de-escalate the economy, how do we de-escalate the conflicts in these countries? How do we actually allow people to feel safe investing in these countries? And so that was our goal when we went to Ghana. We went to Ghana, we even had a private group of organizations come, and we had private sectors come, and we had events, and we talked to different people, and we said, what we have to do? We have to make sure that the economies are safe and people can invest. And that's been our work. And so I bring this to your attention because each one of you sit at a table. Everyone here leads something. And as we're going forward and we're leading and we're being intentional, let's think about what we're contributing to this space. What is our legacy? What will we leave? And my legacy and what we've talked about, and I hope you all can see the vision, is to make sure that all these nations, especially African nations in the Caribbean, that we can actually de-risk their economies and have everyone investing in fair partnerships all around the world. Let us partner together and remember our heritage and who we are here in the United States, where we've come from, to make sure we're elevating every single person. When we think about us being in the United States, remember who you are. You actually have a voice and a platform that many people are listening to. So when you get up there and you speak for all. Speak for people in villages who can't speak for themselves. Speak for other people who are sitting there suffering under abuse. Speak for women who are in societies where they can't speak for themselves. Speak for men who can't speak about the truth of what it is to live in the United States, knowing that you're always being profiled and always being checked twice and being doubted. Speak for everyone who does not have a voice. And so before I leave you, I just want to leave you with one comment that my grandmother used to say all the time to me. She always said, Shila sonje ki munuye, which means remember who you are. Every time you show up, remember who you are. You may look fancy today, may look nice and everything's put together, but that's not where we started. You may, feel wonderful and be able to shop and do all those things, but that's not how we started. Our goal is to make sure in 10 years, this room has been multiplied by 3. And the only way we can multiply by 3 is by opening up the doors, by making sure there's a pathway for other people who started where we started to get in there, by making sure that we normalize our leadership and we don't tear each other down. And I always say, make sure we leverage and we protect. Leverage and protect. Every space that you're in, leverage and protect. Because once you leverage someone to leadership, once you speak up, just know there's going to be a group coming after you because it's not normal. So I thank you guys for allowing me to be here and addressing you. I thank you for the honor of even recognizing me in this space. And every single day, I want you to remember who you are and how special you are. And every single agency you're in, remember who you are. And if there's any moment that you feel like you can't make it, look around and see all of us, because we've all been there and feel like that too. But we will. And I know that we will not only just elevate ourselves in this destiny moment and achieve what we need to achieve, but we will actually excel and make sure that our legacy will not just be written and talked about, but would actually come from us. Regain your narrative. Regain your self-esteem. Regain and know who you are. Go forward and be great. And next 10 years from now, let's ensure that we've multiplied our story, our resources, our people. Thank you so much.
for me, ma'am. Can we give a round of applause for our leadership who's representing our community? Thank you very much. Thank you. I want you all to repeat after me. Leverage and protect. This is serious business. We are not here just to party and have fun. That's a part of the work, but we party with a purpose. We are here convening ourselves with intention. For those in our community, for our allies, how y'all doing? I see y'all in the room. How y'all doing? Y'all here too, because we need y'all too. Okay? I'd like to invite my advisory chairman to come up, as well as our corporate and diplomatic co-chair as I present our award to our Congresswoman today. Please to join me. This year, BPIA is presenting our Congresswoman here with the Global Congressional Leadership Award for all the work and the commitment that she has done to ensure that our voice as a community is present that may not otherwise be there. And so with that, Congressman, we uplift you, we thank you, and we support you in continuing to guide and be a leader in our community, to show these young people and these young leaders what it means to be a strong and powerful Black woman leader. We thank you and we uplift you today. Absolutely. And we will present you with your award, Shawanesh. If you, Gabby, if you can pass it to Shawanesh, who will present it to the Congresswoman. Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you. And we're going to pose here for a quick photo. Thank you, Congresswoman. Wonderful. If you'd like to stay back here, yeah. We are going to continue with the program. We will now move into our award presentations. And so I would like to ask all of our awardees if we can have you rise and join us here next to the BPIA marquee lights. All of our awardees today, I'm looking right at you. Mr. Hodge, all right, yep, all right. Please, yep. Right over to my left, over to the BPIA marquee lights. Yep. Yep, over to the marquee lights, please. Yep. Wonderful. All right, I will now present the awards for each of our awardees. Congresswoman McCormick, if you'd also like to stand with our awardees, please. Thank you, thank you. I will be introducing each of our awardees. I'll take one quick moment where we can get our photo ops here. All right, DJ, you can give us a little music, 30 seconds, give us 30 seconds. We'll be starting with our BPIA Members of the Year. About 2 years ago, this individual reached out to me on a cold call email. I didn't know if it was legitimate. You know, sometimes you have to squint at some of these emails, you all. And it was an email from a dynamic individual and a dynamic leader who has helped to elevate BPIA to an entirely new level. Mr. Michael B. Serwadda, I'd like to invite you to the stage. He is our BPIA Man of the Year, and it is well deserved. Michael, help me in bringing him over. Congratulations. He brought his hype squad with him, okay? Michael, we are so thankful to you and all the work that you have done as our founding co-chair of our BPIA Corporate Advisory Council. You have helped to elevate this organization in terms of corporate connections and resources for us to be able to do things at a level that we have never been able to do before. You have trusted us, you have trusted me as a leader, and we thank you for that and for your commitment and your vision with BPIA. So it is an honor to present you today with the BPIA Man of the Year Award. And I'll pass it to you for a remark.
Thank you, Alex. Wow, I'm emotional right now up here. Give it up for Alex. Honestly, so I did email Alex 2 years ago. Should I put this over here? 2 years ago, I emailed Alex because, I talked to a lot of people in the room. Tiffany, my mentor over there, we have conversations about us, Black people in the spaces of international affairs, right? And I was looking for resources. I was like, where are my people? Where are the organizations working to have more people like me in the room, right? So BPIA, the mission for BPIA is to increase the representation of Black African Americans in the space of international affairs. It's a mission that is personal to me. My family's from Uganda. I grew up in Kenya. We have the ambassador of Uganda here as well. I'll give her a shout out. It's a personal journey, families from Uganda, grew up in Baltimore and Kenya, spent time in London as well, went to British school. For me, I thrive when I'm around people that are diverse, that look like me. And it's not just about Black and brown either. It's about everything in between, right? Because we have to get away from just thinking about diversity as Black and white. It's not Black and white. It's very broad and different. Diversity is not just about representation. It's truly about effectiveness, right? When I'm in these rooms talking to leaders about geopolitical challenges, the diversity of thought that comes out, it's really imperative that we have people like us in these rooms making decisions about, should we go to war, should we not go to war, right? Education is a global issue, healthcare, right? So it's not just about doing the right thing, it's about being effective and getting to work, right? So the mission is still early, 35 years, we need 100 more years, and we need your help as well. We cannot do it alone, right? We're coming in right now, it's 35 years. The next 35 years, hopefully we have more sponsors on that. It's step and repeat back there. I see 4, but we need more next year and the year after that. So thank you so much, Alex. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for your leadership in this journey. And here's to more years. Thank you.
If I could have Charles Carruthers meet me near the front for a quick group photo with all of our awardees. Isaiah, our photographer. If we can do a group photo here. Well, thank you. Can we give a round of applause to Michael, please? Yeah. That's what I call rolling deep. Rolling deep. He said, I'm coming with my people, and he does. Okay? Because his contributions, he can bring however many people he wants up in here, okay? So, we love you, Michael. All right, next I will be introducing one woman who I like to consider to be one of my partners in crime. Okay? And partners in not crime, partners in work, good trouble, I met this awardee at least maybe 9 or 10 years ago. Casually, and I never could have imagined what this relationship and what the impact could have been from a happenstance encounter. Shawanesh Underwood is one of the most dynamic women I have ever met. You have also helped to elevate, that's our theme this year's Elevate, BPIA to new levels. And by new levels, I'm talking about connecting and convening our community to institutions and literal world leaders around the things that matter to our people. Earlier this year, she was the mastermind behind a diplomatic 35th celebration for BPIA that brought leaders ranging from the Deputy National Security Advisor to heads of Fortune 500 companies to the Deputy Director of the National Intelligence, all leaders across our industry areas that have the power and influence to impact policies that are actively being attempt to be dismantling to things that matter to our community. We have power even at our level, at our age, we don't have to wait until the end of our career. We can convene and have a voice on these things now. And Shawanesh, you remind me of that every time we talk. And so that is why Shawanesh Underwood is the BPIA Woman of the Year this year. So please join me in congratulating Shawanesh Underwood. Shawanesh, congratulations. Careful, it's heavy. Look, I know you work out though. I know you work out, okay? All right. And please welcome Shawanesh for a remark. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that very kind introduction, Alexandria. And it's truly an honor to be the Woman of the Year or Member of the Year. And the reason why I'm truly honored and so proud is because I'm part of this dynamic organization that has been thriving for 35 years and so much more. BPIA commitment to diversity and inclusion is tireless. And as a result, you see here so many of you in this organization or even supporting it committed to the work that we're doing. And I know the reason why the work has been tireless, the efforts have been endless, is because we have a president who has been the vehicle behind this great work. And I want to honor Alexandria Maloney today for all of the great work that she is doing and all of the wonderful things that we have in store. This could not have happened without the vision that she has spearheaded. And once again, Alex, yes, the love is overflowing, and it will continue. But let's continue to show that love by our commitment, by being present, by also sponsoring and showing up, because BPI needs all of you. And I thank you once again for all of this good work. And Alex, thank you so much for the honor. All right.
Thank you so much. Here you go, madam. All right. All right. Now, this year, we wanted to be intentional about who and how we were awarding. International affairs and foreign affairs is vast. It's not just being a diplomat. And even for me, being in proximity to the international world, even today, I'm still learning, what does that mean? Okay, and so foreign affairs and the leadership across that ranges across political, diplomatic, government, corporate, trade, communications, media, impact, entertainment, across. When these things are having global impact and the narratives are shaping the view and understanding of our community, that is global impact. And so the next award that we have is our Global Business Leader of the Year Award, which is Mr. Ron Busby Sr., who he is was unable to join us at the last minute, but we wanted to acknowledge him and his work as the president and CEO of the U.S. Black Chambers, a community of over 100,000 people and businesses and small businesses and large businesses as well, who is actively convening to ensure our economic empowerment here and broadly and global connection. So if we can give a clap for Mr. Ron Busby. Thank you. Next, again, by being here in the Kennedy Center, in homage to being in a place, the home of the arts, the home of culture, I'd like to say with our next awardee, sometimes we don't realize the work that people do outside of their day job. You know, for all of us here, everyone. And so when I learned and when BPIA learned of all of the work and community-based work and humanitarian work that this awardee was doing, we said it is a natural fit for our Arts and Impact Award. So this year, please join me in welcoming Aldis Hodge as the Arts and Impact Award recipient for BPIA for 2024.
Fancy. Wait, we getting a picture on?
Right, okay.
Did you smize? Did you Vogue? I was trying to match your awesome. I see you. Put this right. Oh, Lord have mercy. How y'all doing? Thank you so much for having me here. It's a wonderful day. You all look beautiful. I'll tell you right now, your boy was sweating trying to find a white suit. Sweating! About to show up in some plums and purples. Just looking at me like, oh, bless your heart, baby. You tried so hard. I'll tell you what I do and the reason I believe I'm here. So I, along with two of my friends, we founded a visual development studio called 9B Collective. Both of my partners, Philip Boutte Jr. and Michael Wandi, we all black. So we are the first black-owned visual development studio. And thank you. Now what that means is, so we service anything really in terms of artistic development, visual concepts, whether it's film, television, literary, video games. So if like Marvel or Universal is like, hey, we have this new crazy movie, we need to know what it looks like. They come to a studio like us, we do world building, we do costume, character design, prop design, all of those things. Now the reason we started this company has nothing to do with art or design. It has to do with creating opportunity. One of my partners, Phil, started his career in 2007. The very first time he worked next to another black artist was 2019. The disparity in opportunity and equity within that community is staggering. So what we wanted to do is create sort of a conduit for opportunities for those coming up under us so they don't have to deal with the same things that we had to deal with. It's no longer about trying to crack open doors. We said, forget that, we're just gonna start building some doors. And for us, one of the things we come up against constantly when dealing with clientele is education, cultural negligence. Oftentimes we have people bring us a project, oh, look, we got this project and it's about Africa and we just wanna make it look cool. Oh, cool, it's about Africa. Which part? Just, you know, the country of Africa. It's not a country. Which country in Africa? As we know, we are not monolithic. The miseducation about who and what we are is sorely pervasive. And we have to continue to challenge that. It is terribly exhausting. But we must, in order for us to be the solution to our own problem. Also a solution to those who would be predisposed against us. They know us, they need us. There's a reason why there are so many efforts, intentional efforts to keep us away from the proximity of success that we are just due. Something I've always asked myself as a kid was, why have black people contributed so much to the world culturally, yet receive so little of the benefit? I was 14 asking myself this, I never understood. But I realized us just walking, thriving, smiling, just being, for some people, that's a threat. I'm not worried about all that. All I'm worried about is educating you to a point so you understand how to greet me, how you engage with my community, how you engage with the future of my community so that we can sow together some compassion and instead of sowing fear. And that's what we continue to endeavor to do. So with that, I say again, thank you so much. There are oftentimes we don't know the assets that are available to us. We are soldiers in this fight, and when I look at BPIA, BPIA is not a soldier, it is a complete army. And I'm happy to now know that we have this vast diaspora of resources, people who are like-minded that are gonna help us continue to fight and complete the mission.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Aldis. Next, I will be introducing the recipient of our Vanguard Award this year. Carolyn A. Wanga is the president and CEO of a little organization you may have heard of, Essence. The reason that Carolyn A. Wanga was selected for the BPIA Vanguard Award is because Carolyn has transformed the way that we look at communications and culture in the Black community for our time, for our decade. She's a visionary. And sometimes we don't even really realize the impact until decades later. But BPIA is going to realize your impact here today, right now. So with that, Caroline, we would like to present you with the BPIA Vanguard Award.
Are we doing pictures? You remind me of my college professor who was also the photographer, and he'd be like, on 3 and that's 2, so you got to catch the smile. Who you are is who you are. If you cannot be who you are, where you are, you change where you are, not who you are. Who you are is who you are. If you cannot be who you are, where you are, you change where you are, not who you are. What the heck does that have to do with why I'm standing in front of you? I'm not gonna give you a big rosy acceptance speech to make you happy. I'm gonna ensure that you leave here particularly uncomfortable about the work that's yet to be done. And that is not intended to ignore the progress that's been made by the efforts all of you put forward. It's to prevent us leaving the baton where it was handed off to us and therefore betraying everybody coming after us. And not looking at what we have to do to continue to advance what it means to be Black in the world, because we're worried about the self-preservation of what we've earned. I'm all for diplomatic endeavors. I'm against diplomacy based in protection of self. Why am I telling you that? I'm telling you that because what stands in front of you is not a strong Black woman. What stands in front of you is not a person who has confidence. What stands before you is not a person that believes she's powerful. What stands before you is a girl who struggles with depression. What stands in front of you is a girl who had a baby at 17 years old, and everybody around her started to renegotiate her potential without her permission. I stand before you, having done 15 years in one of the biggest corporations in this country, and then being afraid to leave there and go be the next steward of a cultural artifact that has infinite value called Essence. And the reason I took the job at Essence was because of my 8-year-old niece, Ayo, who was arguing with her brother one day because he was telling her he's Black, she's Black. And she was telling him, I'm Ayo. Because Ayo didn't feel the need to have to stand up for her Blackness anymore. She just preferred to be referred to by her name. Why did that matter? Because no matter how scared her auntie was to leave the top of a Fortune 500, $100 billion company with 400,000 employees because she didn't want to break Essence, what I couldn't do was participate in the fear that could have let Essence not be here for Ayo. Because I'm here because of Essence. So here is what I offer, and I don't accept awards without some sort of commitment to what the people who gave it to me are gonna help me do. I urge us to be serious about the obligations that sit in front of us as it relates to what it means to advance from the place we were given. We're constantly looking at the recency of what we don't have right now, but guess what? The person before you did more with less, so do more with more. Because the thing you're trying to preserve, they earned for you. And I'm not sure that anybody in here wants to sit and talk to an 8-year-old girl about why she no longer will have reproductive rights. I don't know how to live in a world where women don't matter, because I didn't. But I'm also a broken I am broken pieces of a puzzle that is still being put back together. Why do I tell you that? Because I think that one of the things we've had to do as black people, and by the way, I understand what we mean by international affairs, but I will offer that you by yourself are the globe. The diaspora did bad things, it also did good things. There's more of us everywhere. And we can activate us everywhere. But what I will tell you is, part of how we had to survive as a community globally was to get really good at looking like nothing was wrong. Because letting anybody know something is wrong would slow down something else. I will tell you everything wrong with me. I will tell you that on most days I don't believe I deserve to be here. But I don't leave. I will tell you that I am a person who celebrates when she doesn't have more than 6 failures in a day. 5 is cool. 6, I'm going to bed. But I also will tell you that I'm a girl that spent 36 years denying her who because of something that happened in a where that became a baby. And so thank you for the Vanguard Award. I don't consider myself to be a visionary. What I do consider myself is to be a liberator of the truth of our stories. Because the people before us didn't even have the privilege to talk about everybody they were. They couldn't. And there is no way that we will be able to make the global changes we want to if you carry that behavior forward when they died so you didn't have to. I want you to make sure that people know everything about who you are. That's why I started with that quote. Because every part of you matters. It doesn't matter for the work. It matters for where the baton is going to land when you're gone. And if I function in the same protective perfectionism that people had to do before me, then I have failed 7 generations coming behind me. Go to bed on that. I believe every single person has a purpose in the world. I believe you were born with that purpose and nobody else can deliver that purpose but you. And if you don't deliver that purpose to the world goes without. Nobody can do it for you. So that day when you don't do that thing and you don't say that thing and you don't say, I can't today, just as much as you say, I can. For every day you do that, you put at risk the baton. And the Native American culture says we should be thinking about the next 7 generations when we think about what we're doing today. How you doing? I live in shared mission. I appreciate the love and it's what fuels me every day. But I ask that we not get too comfortable and believe that the work that we're doing is moving the baton ahead. I ask you to daily evaluate, is it actually moving ahead or is it where it was given to you? And if you have an answer to the second question, do something with the first. This is the only white person I'm gonna quote in this speech, which is Winston Churchill. I know we have feelings, but just get the quote. That's why I acknowledged it. That one quote, am I Winston in this one time? He said, this is not the end nor the beginning, but perhaps it is the end of the beginning. Beloved, you're at the end of the beginning. You are powerful. But if you prioritize diplomacy and deprioritize being diplomatic, you will create the provocation that will allow your eulogy to say, she handed it off further ahead. So who you are is who you are. If you cannot be who you are, where you are, you change where you are, not who you are. Because if you don't change the where, every who after you won't know their who. Thank you.
Good choice. Whew, y'all, I'm back here hooting and hollering back here, you all. This work is so interconnected. We might not realize that, all of these different industries, it takes all of these puzzle pieces for us to keep moving the needle forward on the things that matter to our community. So thank you so much, Caroline. I will now move to our Humanitarian of the Year Award. BPIA is so excited to present this award in partnership with one of our newest partners, Global Citizen. Shout out to the Global Citizen friends who are here. Hi, Global Citizen, hey. As well as our newest advisory council member with the co-founder of Global Citizen, Michael Sheldrick. We thank you all for your partnership here. Today, BPIA is honoring Ms. Sabrina Elba for the Humanitarian of the Year Award. Again, someone who has so many hats, who does so many things, and is one of the most graceful women I've ever met. Kind, compassionate, gentle. And I thank you, Sabrina, for the opportunity to allow our community to learn more about you and your world and the work that you are doing to ensure the lessening of poverty, of food insecurity, of ensuring the safety of women and girls. These things where we're talking about people who say, does anybody hear my cry? And you are one of the people that stands in the step to open that door for them. And so I want to thank you and honor you as the Humanitarian of the Year Award for BPIA. So please join me in welcoming Sabrina Elba.
Oh my God, I have to write things down, okay? Thank you for making me look bad, all the other honorees, because you guys were amazing. And I'm a Canadian and I can't vote, but the Congresswoman has my vote. I just want to say thank you so much for having me, especially honestly. It's just been such a pleasure to be able to get to know this organization and the amazing work that you're doing. This is no doubt a room filled with amazing women and men, so I am so humbled to be here today to accept this award in front of a group of women and men who I admire. You know, most of the philanthropic work that I find myself doing now really is driven in part by my immense passion to change narratives. I was raised by a very proud, and she'll tell you if she was here, African woman. Yes, shout out East Africa. I know you have a lot of us here in DC. And I was always frustrated by the portrayal of Africans in the media. I'm telling you, it was not always cool to be African, okay? Back in the day, we had to struggle a bit. We had to get people on board. We didn't have Afro beats and all that. And I was conflicted because the portrayal went against so much of what I knew was true. I had the opportunity to visit Africa a lot when I was younger, so I knew the events in the media were not representative of the people across the continent. Not only are Africans and rural people throughout the whole global South extremely hardworking and talented people, I really want people to know that they are not waiting for a handout. They are like everyone who has found themselves in an economic situation that is outside of their control, looking for economic independence. And the reason I do the work I do now, as it's a bit of a mouthful, but the UN Goodwill Ambassador for the International Fund for Agricultural Development, is because agriculture is one of the best options and best roads to that economic independence. I advocate not for the aid cycle, which is important. There is a time and place for aid, but I advocate for investment in hardworking people, hardworking rural people. And I say investment because let me tell you, the return on that spend is worth every dollar. Rural people physically care for this planet by protecting its biodiversity. They don't cause the environmental damage of large-scale industrial farms. They grow 1/3 of the world's food on only 1/10 of its farmland. They tackle climate change through nature-based solutions such as forest restoration, and they are the answer. So agriculture is part of the solution, and it is part of the solution to so many of the issues we are passionate about. For instance, gender equality, when you're tackling social structures for access to funding or land rights for rural women. Education, when mothers can finally afford to send their children to school in rural areas because of the money they have made from the crops they've taken to market. World hunger, school lunch programs, these can be tackled by nutritional meals and ingredients that are farmed by smallholder farmers. It's amazing the work they do, but they can't do it alone. Climate change has changed the very way of life for rural people, and there are politicians today who diminish the effect and impact that it is having across the continent. But let me tell you, from my visits there, it is happening today, not in some distant future. And without the appropriate resources, access to weather information, climate resilient seeds, the people who actually contribute the least to climate will be affected the most. People who look like me. And as I started saying these remarks, I said I'm honored to accept this award by this group of women. And it's also because the people I advocate for every day to change stereotypes and break down falsities look like us. It's because the face of climate change looks like the face of every woman in this room. I sit at tables with political leaders and lobby heads of state by bringing the voices of rural people in the room with me. And it's because I know the truth, that it could have easily been me. I want them to look me in the face when they deny the investment that is so deserved by rural people, because my face is representative of the people they have abandoned. Strong rural people, strong rural women, strong African women. So I want to thank you so much for this award. It's really, I don't feel it's for me. I feel it's for the countless stories, the countless hearts that I've encountered in my work, the work that I'm so blessed to do every day. They motivate me and they keep me going. So I really want to thank you to the BPIA. So happy to be here in DC, and obviously this award means so much. It's the thing I'm most passionate about in my life. So thank you, and thank you for having me.
Alrighty, I will now pass the microphone back to our MC, who will be introducing a final segment that apparently I'm not supposed to know about, so I'm going to pass it back to our MC.
Thank you, everyone. All right, just a few more minutes before we can dive back into brunch. I know you guys are all waiting for that part. Let's give a round of applause, first of all, to all of our awardees. Once again. As we look at and recognize every single person that is receiving an award and everyone sitting in this room, there's one quote that really stands out and resonates with me that I wanted to share with all of you. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? And every single awardee and every single person in this room today is a testament to this. So give yourselves a hand for being here today. And I would like to now invite BPIA board members, Ethel Mwezendendira and Michelle Washington, and the advisory council members, Angela Tate, and founder Camille O, to the stage for the final presentation.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ethel Mwezendendira, and I have the honor of serving on the board of directors here at BPIA, as well as leading our communications efforts. Today, I'm excited to speak about someone who embodies the very essence of leadership, Alex. There are people who lead with titles and roles, and then there are those who lead with heart, vision, and an unstoppable drive to lift others along the way. Alex is without a doubt the latter. What sets her apart isn't just the tremendous milestones BPIA has achieved under her leadership, though they are impressive. It's the way she creates space for each of us to grow. She has an incredible ability to see the potential, not just in our organization, but in each of us individually. It's not just about being in rooms where we weren't before, but feeling that we belong there. And that sense of belief and belonging, of ownership over our space in the world is a gift that she's given all of us. Since becoming president of BPIA in 2021, Alex has launched impactful programs like the Madam Ambassador program and the Colin Powell Leadership Institute. She's also built our social media presence from the ground up. And for the first time during her tenure, BPIA received corporate sponsorships and partnerships. But beyond her strategic brilliance, there's heart. There's a quiet strength in that kind of leadership. It's the kind that doesn't seek the spotlight, but instead shines it on others. And today, we want to turn that light back to her, because while she's always giving others their flowers, today they belong to her. And in recognition of her leadership and achievements, I'm thrilled to announce that she has been invited to join the Atlantic Council's Africa Center as a senior fellow. Ambassador Ramayade at the Atlantic Council, if you're with us today, would like to acknowledge you and your support. Alex, thank you for your vision that has carried BPIA further than we imagined, in line with our founder, Barbara C. Patterson's mission, for your relentless belief in the power of community, and for ensuring that wherever we go further together. But thank you so much, Alex. And I will pass it over to Michelle.
Good morning, distinguished guests, BPIA members, and congressional leaders. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Michelle Washington. I'm the Vice President of the Professional Development Committee with BPIA, and I sit on the board serving alongside these wonderful folks, including Alexandria. At a moment where DEI programs are being scaled back, at a moment where schools are outlawing education of Black history, at a moment where those of African descent are losing their footing in the American dream, I felt compelled to get involved in an organization that I believe would promote diverse voices in spaces where we have not traditionally been welcomed. Minority voices matter. That is the driving force behind the creation of BPIA by founder Barbara C. Patterson. This year, we're celebrating our 35 years of diversifying and amplifying Black voices in diplomatic spaces. And truth be told, Alexandria Maloney, when she became the president, understood the assignment. Keeping the core mission of BPIA as her guiding light in embodying the excellence of Ms. Patterson, she has strived and made huge, huge gains for BPIA and all of us in this room. And so I just want to say thank you for joining us today, and more importantly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you've done for our organization and for those in this room. We love you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Angela Tate. I'm on the advisory council. So I met Alexandria when I moved back to DC from Chicago through a friend of a friend of a friend. And it was a very memorable moment that we both always laugh about. We became fast friends, but I didn't fully see her in her glory until becoming involved in BPIA. I'm currently in the museum field. I've been a curator, archivist, et cetera, for about 10 years now, and currently am in Boston as the chief curator at their African American History Museum, but had spent, thank you, a promotion from being women's history curator at the Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History and Culture. But in another life, I was an international affairs major. I was inspired by Josephine Baker and the thought of the change that Black people could have on a global stage. I attended my first class. I was a sophomore because I had changed my major about 3 times, and they said, you need to pick one. I was the only black person in that class, and my professor looked at me and made me feel like I did not belong. And so I changed my major again to anthropology, still with a global focus, but feeling like I could belong. Alex kept inviting me to BPIA events because she said, come to First Fridays, come to these events, and I was like, sure, because I wanted to meet new people, I wanted to support her, and I did not think that I was actually involved. I would say, I'm just a curator, I'm just here to have fun. And throughout my time as BPIA Advisory Council member, I have grown as a person, I have grown as a leader, all because of my friendship with Alex. And the most important thing about BPIA, as she said last night, is that it is for all. And despite being in the arts, being in nonprofits, I found myself realizing that I had returned to my roots in international affairs because my dissertation is about a black woman who was in international affairs and was a Goodwill Ambassador in the 60s and 70s to Africa. And so I want to thank you, Alex, because your embrace of me, your embrace of everyone, your embrace of allies shows the way forward. Your leadership is a model. Your inclusiveness is so admirable. And I also, every time, as previous remarks said, you shine your light on other people. You don't just soak up the spotlight for yourself. And that is the mark of a great leader, someone who can make you better, as opposed to you making them look better. And so this is not just an emblem of her leadership and her success, but what she can achieve and accomplish herself and with us. And so thank you, Alex. I love you so much. And I'm turning it over to Camille.
Camille. We saved the best for the last. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Just do me a favor, look at your neighbor and just say thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for looking beautiful. All right, so we saved the best for last. This is time for us to give you your flowers, literally give you flowers. My name is Camille, and when we talk about international relations, we cannot not talk about the United Nations. And last year, we honored Alexandra as one of the most influential people of African descent, a program in support of the United Nations International Decade for People of African Descent. And she was fire. She was lit in New York. And you were just a joy to have with the international group that we brought together. You were true representation of Black excellence. And today, I am privileged to give you the Hall of Fame Award. If you're gonna clap, I want you to clap, please. To say thank you for all the amazing work that you've done. For each and every one of us, I have my personal story. And everyone I get the opportunity to tell is to say thank you to you. Because I know I'm on my way out of my role, but you continue to inspire me. So thank you so much for all that you do. And we have a plaque for you as well. You can't give us all plaques without getting yours, right? And also just to all the other MyPad honorees in the house as well. Ndidi, I see you. Sabrina, each and every one of you. Let's keep doing what we do. We're a global Africa family. And I love what you said, Michael. It's the diversity in our color and the collectiveness. It's okay for us to be dispersed around the world, but what is not okay is the disconnection. So this is about connectivity. And it is a privilege to have this moment with you. And like you always say, in a movement, we got to keep moving. So God bless you, and thank you so much for all the good work that you do. Literally giving her flowers. Can we all rise? Literally giving her flowers. Let's please rise. Thank you. All right, a few words.
Look, let's party. Those are my words. I said this last night, and I'll say this again tonight. If you can repeat after me, it's our time. It's our time. We've got what it takes. We know that we have what it takes here and here. And we have to continue to gather and build and support and empower and not compete with each other so that we are moving on one accord. Because as many of us see, other communities are moving in a unified manner to ensure their continuation and success and goals and objectives. We should be doing the same. As Carolyn said, our future generations depend on it. And so please don't take today lightly. This is a celebration. We love a good celebration with BPIA to bring the joy, because we know that not every day is the joy that we would like to have every day. Sometimes it's hard for us. Sometimes we wake up, we say, I do not feel like going into this, work with these people today again. And don't let so-and-so say something to me, okay? But with that, I just want to close and remind us that this is not a moment, this is a movement that we are doing. Can we give a round of applause? Can all the team members, the BPIA operations team who made this event, the national BPIA event, all of that, can you rise and just wave for folks to see you? All of our escorts, our volunteers, our interns. There is a team of dynamic individuals who put on these super all-star events today as throughout the entire National BPIA Week. It is not just me alone. I can have ideas, but I need people to help me execute, and you all do it beautifully and graciously. And I thank you for that. So with that, we are going to conclude today's program. We invite you to enjoy the music. Make sure you participate in the 360 booth here. There's a selfie booth here. We also have some young entrepreneurs who are selling their bath and holistic products here in the front area near the bar. Please support our local DC entrepreneurs, young girls who are there fundraising for their school-related fundraiser there. So thank you so much and enjoy. Happy 35th anniversary, BPIA!